You ready?
Hey mommies!
Welcome to the Power Show.
I'm Miriam.
And I'm your girl Lachey, aka Shay. So today's topic is hurt in private, shine in public.
You can hear it, huh?
Right. But before we get into that, you always know that we have to either do our quote or our check-in moment. So I'm going to do the first check-in moment of this episode, which was a little like, girl. It was one of those things like, I need to co-red, girl. I have some tea. So I have this friend. I'm not gonna mention any names because right now he blocked me. So I don't know if we friends right now.
Okay, he blocked you.
He blocked me, y'all.
This is a new decade for sure.
This is right. Okay, but let me tell you something. So I have this friend. We was cool, and then it crossed over to being like other than cool.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Like I got a text or a video and I'm like, oh, so we crossed over to this side of it?
Okay.
Okay, I see where you're going.
Okay.
Long story short, I was not expecting to date him or nothing. It was just like, I'm gonna entertain the flirt. You gonna flirt, I'm gonna flirt back.
Right.
I had a friend, a mutual friend that we know, called me and kind of confronted me like, do you talk to him? I'm like, I won't say we talk, but we've been talking as far as like flirting and inappropriate, you know. So she was like, well, I talked to him and we've been talking, our kids been hanging around each other, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, girl, what? But the thing I love about it is because she came at me very correct.
Okay.
And it didn't get to the point where we were like arguing or nothing like that. We was just exchanging notes.
Okay.
And it was just funny. So at the end of the whole everything, he ended up blocking both of us.
What?
And talking about his thing was we was playing too much.
Wow.
Right. So it's like you playing both of us, so you gonna block us because we was playing?
Right.
Like no. So I was just like the audacity of these men. Like how you gonna play a game? And then he thought that we were in on it because we knew each other or something like that. But I was like, I didn't even know he was talking to her until like I got told the day before or whatever. They were talking for months, so I just recently knew that y'all started talking when she called and told me. You know, it was like a little brainy Monica, like the girl, the boy's mind, girl, the boy's mind. But we found out like, no, he been playing like everybody. Like, so not only was he talking to us, but like other women in the department. And it's like, you just fell, cuz. And this is the thing though, that I was really disappointed about. At the end of the day, like in my mind, I just knew it was never gonna go there because it's just we're two different people. Right. But I was like, if it doesn't go anywhere, which I don't expect it to, that's still my homie. Like, we're cool, we friends. Good. So for you to block me, it's like, whoa, like, oh, you feeling some type of way?
Yeah, you was in it.
Yeah, because it's like, why you feeling some type of way? Like, we was cool. Like, why you gotta block me? Block your girl or whoever you got. But I'm not your girl. Like, I was just entertaining the flirt. Like, you gonna flirt back? Wow. So yeah, I was just like, and it's funny that you said that's childish because the last message he sent me was that I was childish.
Really?
He's like, wow, that's childish. Have a nice life, beautiful. And I was like, and it was random. It was so random. I was like,
you cute though, but over there.
It was so random. I was like, why he mad? Like, did I miss something? And then I guess him and the other girl were talking, and they was going back and forth, having to exchange words that I didn't know about. So I guess in the middle of their conversation talking, he's texting me like, oh, you childish. And I'm like, what's going on? I didn't even know that y'all was talking until an hour and a half later when she hit me up. Yeah. So I was just like blown away, like, these men ain't going.
You slipped on your player's call. Hey.
And actually, I didn't because
I'm talking about him. He slipped on his player card.
And then try to put it on us.
Try to put it on
manipulate and try to turn on.
What? Your
and then I was like, damn, now I missed a friend. Like, and that was the homie because like we used to crack jokes, whatever. He had a little nickname for me. He called me Oprah. That was like my boy. Yeah, and I'm like, for you to act like that, like now you showing your character. So I don't even know if I want to even be a friend, have a friend like that, because like you foul, cuz you foul.
And that's crazy because it's something about these dating like nowadays. I don't know if like because they older, we dated like a new series of men. You know, like they more intact with their emotions. But it just seems like guys are just like more emotional than they ever been.
Right. And I don't like that.
Me either. I mean,
I don't mind a man coming out and being vulnerable.
Yeah,
I get that. Like I want my man to be vulnerable, whoever my man is. But at the same time, don't be acting like a female and do that kind of stuff.
That's so crazy. Stuff. That is.
Like, oh, you feel some way, bro. You blind me, boy.
That's a big one right there.
Like, I ain't listen to sleep. Like, what you thought this was?
Yeah,
you
right.
the homie. Like, I was just.
My bedtime ain't never turned.
Hello.
My bedtime. So what's up with this shine in public and heal in private?
Okay, so the reason why we're doing this topic is because you know that one of our viewers, shout out to Sharonda, woo woo, Ronnie, she wanted to talk about a topic that is so, I guess, I don't know if it was something that she was dealing with or if it's just a general thing that people deal with, excuse me, as far as hurting in private and shining in public. So my thing was that whole phrase I disagree with because I feel like depending on what it is, like if you're still, for example, like if you're married and you and your husband are dealing with marital issues, I can get keeping that private within the family because you're trying to, you're trying to work in your family. So certain things you just can't be out there with. But as far as like your whole, just yourself in general, I don't think people should hurt in private.
Right.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree because it just seems like it's more and more, I don't want to say epidemic, but it's just becoming more accepted socially to not really know where you are, like as far as like somewhat spirituality, but kind of like just who you are as in your being, right? Like people are beginning to be more and more open, like, man, I'm kind of confused, like I don't know what to do. I had a day, like I was just tired, I wanted to just lay in bed, and it's not like I'm depressed, but I just need somebody to talk to. I'm beginning to see people more and more like come out of their shell. It's not like everybody's trying to be superhuman no more. And so I believe that a part of us healing is exposing a certain amount of our weaknesses and our hurt.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
In public, so I agree to disagree with that phrase.
Right.
For a number of reasons as well.
And I also think too, for me, with my experiences of hurt and pain in the past before being transparent, for some reason transparency and sharing it is liberating and it's almost like you're taking the power back.
Yes.
Because one, it's like, why be ashamed? You would be very surprised at how many people are going through the exact same thing.
Yes. Yep.
That you're dealing with. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and ever since I've done that, because that's something that, first of all, this show has really helped me tremendously, right? Because being able to stand in front of a camera or sit in front of a camera, and we sat, but it really discussed the things that we've gone through and we're currently going through. That's therapeutic because it's like people are receptive to that. You have people that can pray for you, that people that can give back advice, and just hearing it out loud sometimes and talking to a friend about it, it's like, okay, like I got this. Like, I'm aware.
And I can tell that you're getting good because look, that skin is glowing, girl. I'm looking at your skin like, oh, that skin is nice. No.
That's that upper coming out. You go, girl. I love it.
But anyway, so I think that it's just good to be transparent because not only are you helping others, but you're also just really helping yourself to heal better. And I feel like, for instance, like, okay, with like a caterpillar or, the metamorphosis of a caterpillar to a butterfly, it's not hidden. It's in nature, it's out there, and then you see how ugly the cocoon is, whatever, and how it just turns into something so beautiful. People need to see, and that's one of my main reasons why I do what I do as far as the whole network. It's like I want people to see from the trenches when it was hard, when I was crying, when I was going through, up until wherever my end is. Like, man, she was in the trenches. She was grinding, or she was sad and she was depressed, but she put it out there and she wasn't ashamed to be depressed in front of people and show people. And like I told you guys before, that I always said I wanted to be, I think I said this on the the podcast a few tapings ago, that my thing was since I was little, I always said I want to be an example.
Yes.
And not really realizing that being an example is that you're gonna have to really go through things publicly, because if I'm going to be an example, okay, who are you going to be an example to?
Right.
So now, since I said that, not knowing what I was saying when I was younger, but I actually said it all the time, I want to be an example to people.
Oh, that's so cute.
An example. But in my naive mind, thinking like just be the good part of it, not actually going through it. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what you said when you're young. Like, well, I want to be an example, but girl, it takes a lot. You don't know what you have to go through.
Oh yeah, and that's one reason I really love Lauryn Hill, because I don't know if you're familiar with that Unplugged album, MTV Unplugged, when she was talking about like when she first cut her hair and people were saying she was crazy and she cut her locks off, and she was like had short hair, and she talked about everything on that album, like everything she had gone through, where she felt that she needed to go and how to get there, and that's when she like really discovered like her spirituality and God, and she talked about that in like one of the opening songs, because before every song she was discussed like where the song came from, right, where it originated. And one of my favorite songs on there, she was speaking about how, you know, we get this image of who we supposed to be, perfect, you know, especially as celebrities, she was saying, you know, like you said, example, like a leader. Like she was saying, well, I used to think we had to, you know, like not really speak on the phone and talk a lot and drink tea and be like, you know, talk real low to preserve our voice. And she like, now, you know.
Oh, I heard that on Spotify. Like, I happened to put her on Spotify.
Oh, man,
I heard that actual little part of that
snippet, and she would tell her kids she can't talk, and so she's like, I don't do that no more. Now I'm like, I got scars and I let my belly out, and somebody can watch me like, oh, you got a belly too, like, you know, just with our bellies out, you know. See my belly. But I love that, like, and that album has really helped me in different phases of my life. But it really helped me to break through, to see like I don't have to be conformed to what people say I have to be because of the way it looks, because it may look ugly. You know, it's like I'm human first. Right. And if you can't get with that, then
so be it. Deuces. But you know what? I'm going to say this on a spiritual tip. The devil lives in silence.
Yeah.
So when you're being silent about what's hurting you and what you're dealing with, instead of getting help or talking it out, he plays those tricks in your mind where it's like, nobody going through that. People gonna think I'm stupid. People thought I had it together. And first of all, why are you trying to impress everybody? Like, these people ain't paying your bills.
They sure not.
They're with you every day.
And if they pay my bill, they gonna know what I'm going through. They gonna feel my pain.
Right. So it's like, why are we sitting here putting so much energy into impress people? At the end of the day, my being needs to be healthy, and if me being transparent, putting my story out there, allowing people to see the raw Lachey, I'm gonna do that because that's healing for me. And I'm gonna say this: a few years ago, I didn't think that because I was very embarrassed of my story. I was ashamed of what I was dealing with, what I was going through. And for I don't know when it just clicked for me. Like, girl, you'll be surprised how many people go home and crying every night. Putting on the front, coming to church. You'll be surprised the ones driving a Mercedes. The pastor say, follow them home. They might be sleeping in that car. Like, you don't know people. You don't know people's dealing with. They be flashy and stuff like that. But you have no idea what people are dealing with. Coming to church, like, because you only see the outside.
Everyday people, and I believe that. You know, people are still, and as I'm beginning to just be around different crowds of people and meeting different people and befriending them, old and young, if you don't learn to come out of that at a young age, it'll be harder as you go older, because you'll either achieve a certain amount of success that you didn't achieve before, and then you'll be more and more like opted to hide, you know, or it'll just be harder because that's your way. And it's like, you know, while I'm young, I want to learn this good stuff. I want to be an example, like you said. I want to be example to my kids, to the future me. You know, I want to grow older, healthy, you know. And if that means showing a part of me that is not so pretty, or, you know, crying on camera or whatever.
Right. And we've had those times. You know what I mean? Like, crying on camera. And that's why I feel like, me personally, that's growth for me, you know. And then when it comes to the shining in public, it's like, it's almost like that scripture, like when you pray in secret, God will reward you openly. So it's like, it's almost the opposite. Though I'm hurting, or though I don't want to hurt in private, I'm not sitting there also having pity parties either.
Oh yeah.
So people can feel sorry for me. Yeah. So it's a difference. Like, though I'm hurting in private, but at the same time, though I'm sharing, I'm not sitting there like, Miriam, it's so good. Like every time you see me, it's like I'm having a moment. Give me a few minutes. I'm gonna get it together, but it's only a moment of time when I'm dealing with this hard time. You know what I mean? And I feel like when you're up to that, that's when God can reward you openly and you can shine in public. And then it's just a beautiful thing to see people come from nothing to something. You know what I mean? Like, I was watching, I'll put it in the atmosphere. I put it on Twitter. I put it in the atmosphere. Okay. I was watching Extreme Makeover Home Edition last night. That's like one of my favorite shows. Because I always like to see, first of all, good people win. Like, that really went through some things. I really like to see people who had like a really hard life and how God just blesses them. And it's just so overwhelming. Girl, the whole show was just smiling like a creep. I was like,
like a creep. Not a creep.
I was smiling like a creep just watching the whole show like this.
That's a nice house over there. Look at the house over there.
Oh, it was like this. But it was so beautiful. It was, this lady was on there and her, I don't want to get into her story, but it was just beautiful. She deserved it, right?
Good.
And I was just like, you know what? One day that's gonna be me. I'm gonna be a celebrity guest host.
That's right.
Because I love to see people win. And when you're going through things like that, and she wasn't ashamed of her story. She opened her house and her private hurts to the world. Like, we seen it.
Wow.
So the death of her marriage, the death of her father. She took in some foster kids and ended up adopting them. She lost her home, had to move her and her 5 kids in with her mom in a 2-bedroom house. Girl, they must have tore that house up and just redid it and gave her, she was sleep. First of all, her and her mom was sharing a room.
Wow.
Sleeping in the same bed.
That's hard right there.
Her kids, her oldest, her son and her oldest daughter was sharing a room. And the other girls, it was like a lot of sharing. They was all sharing one bathroom. 7 people.
Wow.
And how they just turned this whole house upside down from a 5-bedroom. Like, everybody had their own bathroom. They had the girls, like the upstairs was like a whole like teenage oasis. It was like their little apartment. They had a big loft. They had like this locker room. And showers. It was bomb. They had
idea was wow.
Okay. You spend like 2 minutes on it, like describing the house.
Oh. Okay.
I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm just saying, like, move on to the point you're trying to get to.
Okay. Well, I just like to see people win. Okay. So yeah, it was just nice. I love the house. It was beautiful, and I just like to see people win. And the point I'm making is that she wasn't ashamed to open up her home to America. And that everybody's gonna view that. Like, millions of people view that show. You know what I'm saying? So it was just beautiful to see that. You never know how God is gonna bless you. When you are open to share your story.
That's awe inspiring. Like, for you sitting here talking to me about it, and we both excited to hear that. You know, like, imagine if she had just came on there and was like, I need a new house. You know, like, where is the glory?
It was no story to it. Yeah, that's true. So I have a question for you though. Have you ever, in your past, felt like you were ashamed to share your story as far as what you dealt with, or try to hide it because you try to put on the front, act like you have it all together?
Yeah. I wanted to say, attached to that, I'll say I have. I think the first thing that comes to my mind when you asked me that was when I had to do a speech in my speech class, and we had to write about our life, and I was just like, man, like, if I tell how I grew up and where I came from, like, my class members gonna know, you know, like, we was poor, and, you know, like, I'm a single mom, you know, or even that I was a mom, period, like, because it's easy for me to hide and be like, I'm young, and I'm, you know, because, you know, people think I'm young anyway. So, but it's like, to say I'm a mom and a single mom, but then I did it. Like, I wrote down all of that. I got a good grade in the class, and it was hard for me, because I remember on speech day, I was crying. Like,
did you cry in front of the people?
Yes,
when
I
you
did.
Did the speech?
Yeah, I did. I wrote down, and I had to run out.
Oh, really?
Run out. Yeah.
I feel embarrassed for you.
Yeah, I was really embarrassed.
Not like that. Like I'm saying, like I felt that.
No, I know what you mean.
Like
no, I know
she ran out. I was like, oh my god, like are you okay?
I just didn't expect.
I didn't take no shade to it.
Okay, good.
No,
because I just visualized like, oh my god, like
that was hard
me being in the classroom, like, is she okay? Should we go after her? You know?
Yeah. But it was just a whole like thing of I don't want to fail this class because I'm older now. I'm returning back to school. If I don't get a good grade, it was just a lot of emotions attached to that. But that was a like a prime example of how I really didn't want to share anything. Something that you said earlier about leadership, like I feel, and this is transitioning too. I feel a certain amount where we have to hold ourselves accountable to the reputation that we create, right? Like
Absolutely.
say for instance, like you said, like you didn't want people to think, or like how I said, I don't want people to think a certain way. But when we actually allow people to see our scars, and then we start getting too big for our britches, it's like, but don't forget where you came from. Because I remember you told me X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying?
So you're like, you're way extreme. So you're saying basically like when you're getting too big headed as far as shining in public.
Exactly.
That's good. Yeah. See, well, I didn't really think of that. I was thinking of like when you shine in public, it's not necessarily like you have the bragging rights and you're trying to say, "Oh, look what I got," but it's more so like I was hurted and now look at me now, y'all. I made it.
Yeah.
And I'm here to just spread the love and the joy and the things that I'm dealing with. But then you can get beside yourself too. And that's what I'm always afraid of. Getting so yourself. Yeah, and then you be like, hold on, boo. Remember you was at your auntie house and with your auntie and when your son was in it. Like somebody bring you back down. It's like
they start doing a Jack A on you.
Yeah, like it's like, okay. You know how our producer just did. I was all excited about the thing, and she was like, "Okay, that's enough." That's like, hey, you know.
I love it.
So yeah, you have to. It's almost like you have to have a nice balance of the way you shine and how you shine without being so arrogant. And then don't forget too, the only reason why you was able to shine was because of God. It wasn't because of you.
Yeah.
Like he's the one who brought that shine,
and
not you.
Get the glory. Thank you so much.
Hallelujah. But yeah, he's the one who allowed that shine to come through that dark time in your life. So then, just like that dark time, the Lord give it, the Lord take it away. He can take it away and bring you back down.
That's right.
You know, so you have to just remember like who to give praise to and who to remember where, like you said, always remember where you came from.
Yeah.
You know,
I know how to abase and how to abound. And one of my favorite movies is The Pursuit of Happiness. Right?
Really? That movie makes me so sad. I can't watch it.
You can't?
But I've watched it.
Good ending.
But yeah, I still hate to see him struggling like that.
Okay.
You know, though I know it's a movie and stuff, but it was based on a true story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that's why I was gonna go.
Yeah, like it's just Will Smith did a good job. Him and Jay did a good job in the movie, and I don't know what it is. It just
it's just because he is trying
so hard, doing his very best, and he just couldn't get out of it. And I'm just like, Harry.
And you knew he was a good person. Like he was a good man. He was a single father and stuff. I was a single father, pushing and grinding. But I was gonna say about that movie. I love that movie, and every time I see that movie, I cry. And you know, I don't cry like that. You feel me?
Like I should get hard. I don't cry like that. You feel me? Like you just went to jail right quick, like back in the day, girl, because you know I'll be dead. I don't cry like that. You feel me? Like, we got it. We feel you. We got you.
Okay. So, but I cry every time I see that movie, and it's because it's such a, like you said, it takes you to the gutter, like where he went literally in the bathroom at the train station with his son.
Yeah.
It's like, that's hurting. You know what I'm saying? Like when you don't have nothing, you're at the bottom. And then it has such a beautiful turnaround. And even, I remember behind the scenes, they were speaking to the real person who's Chris Gardner, you know. And he's a multimillionaire. He's very successful. That was like 30, like movies before he was born in the 80s. And he still gets emotional. So he said
about from where he came from.
So when he shot the movie, there was times where he couldn't be on the set because it was so traumatizing to him.
Ooh.
And it was like the specific locations that he was at, they was at. So he was like, this is so, even though he was you know, supposedly shining
at that time,
I'm like, maybe he didn't handle like the healing process was still ongoing.
But I don't. This is the thing, though. Even though you shine, I don't think I won't say the hurt. I don't think you will hurt as much, but going back to those memories will still make you a little emotional.
Okay.
Because I think it's more so of gratitude.
Yeah.
Like I'm just okay, almost like when we go to church people be shouting like, you know what I think I got this.
Yeah.
You know, like you just the gratitude of where you are now is just so unexplainable. It's like if y'all only knew what I really felt at that time. You know? So I don't think he was necessarily like it's like he didn't heal, but it's almost like y'all don't even know.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so.
I think I would still cry too, no matter where I am. If when my turn really gets big, and I'd be like, man, if y'all only knew what I have to deal with.
Yeah. But to that, he said he didn't think that movie was a good idea to make because it was just him. He was a little old me, but he was like, I don't think that it would matter. My story would matter. Is what I'm getting at. Like he was like, and Will Smith was like, yo, we should totally do a movie about you. And he was like, no. Like, I don't think so.
He didn't think he was that great enough.
And so I think that a part of shining is it produces a certain sense of humility too. That's where I'm going with it. That's where I'm going with it. So
because a lot of people get people say they're afraid of success or they're afraid of. I remember I was listening to T. Jakes. He was saying, don't be hiding the blessings that God is giving you because you're afraid of what people are going to say. Like, oh, you changed. And I think that's what people are afraid of. Like, when they get success, they're afraid of how people are going to view them as changing. Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's okay to change. And it's okay to, first of all, we're constantly changing. You're supposed to change. But if I'm successful, don't deem me as being a show-it-off because God has rewarded me with the fruits of my labor. So it's not like that I'm being braggadocious, but people are just having a hard time with accepting that they're at a different place in their life shining. Yeah. And it's hard for them to accept that. Yeah. And I don't know, like I could see myself being like that. Really? Because I already have in my mind, like, okay, I'm not going to have a real flashy car. I'm not going to have a real big old mansion. What do I need that for? I'm not going to have this. Like, I can see myself being like that. Really? Like, really trying to be modest. In my spending and not trying to be super flashy just to get attention from people.
Yeah, that's good.
So I get it.
Yeah, you do. I don't know what your son though. He sound like he got a lineup of things.
No, seriously. I was talking to his dad the other day. I was like, I'm gonna have to really like. You remember the Cosby's house? Theo, he was like. What's the name? Was trying to teach him about money, and he was like, "Okay, you gotta pay rent, you gotta pay this." I'm about to put him like on a little money system in the house because he don't think he doing something. I'm about to remind him, "Boo, this is my money. I work for this. You don't work for nothing. You just freeloading. You live for free. Elite. Yeah. And then when you get a certain age, it's still belongs to me. You gotta work for it. It's like I think that was 1 minute. I'm gonna get a Tesla. I'm not gonna go out. What you know about me?
Spell it. You're like spell it.
So I love it. Oh my.
1 minute.
Hey.
1 minute.
Hey.
Hey Powder Puffs, it's Naturally Kira. Surprise! So while filming this episode, we had a technical difficulty which didn't allow us to record the last couple of minutes of this episode. So we don't have the Minute Ministry. So I, your producer extraordinaire, Naturally Kira, will step on and do the Minute Ministry. From this discussion today, we want you to take away that you do not always have to hurt in private to shine in public. Oftentimes, sharing your story and tests and trials is not only beneficial for you, but can be a blessing for others. It's in our transparency that we can be healed, taught, and that we grow and learn. And when you own your truth and share that journey, you shine that much brighter. Thanks for tuning in, Powder Puffs. We'll see you next time.